Hello everybody, it's Sephiroth4 for the year in review. It's only halfway into January. I'm still good, right? Anyway, yeah, let's talk about 2019. I made a list. You can't see it because of the white balance, but I made a list. There we go. This was a very, very interesting year. A lot happened. A lot happened in 2019. I can't say that it was all good. There were a lot of good things because there's always good things that happen. You just got to remember that. But there's a lot of weird stuff and a lot of bad stuff and a lot of sad stuff. But yeah. So I have 6 categories generally when I talk about if you're new to the year in reviews. I have 6 categories. Games that I bought, not necessarily games that came out, because I don't buy like some of the games that come out. Like, I don't remember if God of War came out this year, but I feel like it was last year. But like Death Stranding, I'm not gonna mention because I didn't buy it, even though I just mentioned it. But things like that, you know. Let's plays that I've done, events, general life events pertaining to myself, world events, namely people that died, top 10 games that I've played this year, and upcoming games I'm looking forward to, which I need to actually add one to the list because they announced it within the past week. Okay. So let's start with events, I guess. So 2019 started off with MagFest, as it usually does. It's a good start. It was a nice MagFest. I got to meet like a lot of new people there, and we'll have to talk about this MagFest next year, I guess. This MagFest I think was better. Yeah, but last MagFest had some problems with it, but all in all, it was pretty good. But it's always nice to see my friends. In the middle of all that, continuing from the end of the previous year, but in the middle of all that, I was also getting radiation, which let's see. This week or next week is going to be the 1 year point from me finishing that radiation, and also the 1 year point of me not getting any treatments anymore, like at all. The only thing that I've been getting since then is scans, but I'm off medication, I'm off chemo, I'm off radiation, everything. So yeah, so we're coming up on the 1 year point. My remission was a little while before that, but we're coming up on the 1 year point of me not being on any sort of treatments, which is crazy. It's been a long trip. I got the scars to prove it. Let's see. So starting in last January 2019, I started my Patreon sketches. Essentially, I upgraded my Patreon to be less of like people supporting me for the art that I'm doing and me actively doing commissions for them. So I've officially done 12 months of that now. And it's come out to over 52 sketches, over like 55 sketches, something like that, for people. So that's pretty crazy. I'm very proud of all of that. Did I put it away over here? I can't remember if I... Is this past year? Yes. So, aside from a few that are in the mail currently, because I forgot to order a bunch of them, including this past December's. But these are all the pieces of art that I've done in the past year. I have some of December's here at the end. For some reason, I don't have all of it. I was very disheveled. Very disheveled when I was before MagFest stuff. But yeah, this is... all the art that I've done in the past year, or at least all the art that I had printed. I also made a bunch of like stream art for Proton John that I didn't get prints of. Come on, camera, you can focus on me. I set it to auto because I trusted it. But yeah, so there's over 100 things here, meaning only like half of it is Patreon. But 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. Yeah, it's about 100 pieces. Okay. But yeah, it's crazy, you know? I just, looking back, that's a lot of work. It was a lot of work that I did, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud. And I don't know what this year is going to bring in terms of the amount of art that I do, but I'm looking to make the quality better. I'm looking to get some projects done that I've really been like aching to do. I already got started on that. I showed it off in the last weekly update. But yeah, this is going to be a good year in art. But yeah, full year of Patreon commissions, and people actually are in that, which is crazy. So yeah, thank you for a year, patrons. I appreciate you so much. Goodness gracious, I didn't think anyone would join it when I started that. But yeah, so let's see. So I also last January went on a Florida trip, which was really nice. It's always nice to get away from the cold, even if it's just for a week or something, get some fresh air, you know. Let's see. Also last year, at the beginning of the year, Reggie announced that he was retiring. Reggie Fils-Aimé, the president of Nintendo of America. So he was replaced in April by Doug Bowser, which I'll never not laugh at, who seems to have been doing a good job so far. He's nice. Reggie's still been seen around the game industry since then, so I'm glad that he hasn't just like said bye everybody. Let's see. So yeah, I was given like like last year I was like given the I don't know, the diagnosis or whatever of remission, in terms of the fact that the cancer like was gone, not gone, it's not ever going to be gone, but it's stopped, like it's not there, in terms of like scans and stuff. It's just like the scans show that if we didn't know it was there in the first place, the scans wouldn't be picking it up. Like we had to fine tune things just to find like the little spots left. So like last year I got that, and this year, like once the radiation finished, I got like the official, okay, now you're like officially in remission, as opposed to like technically in remission, which is, it's a step. But that step, like I said before, that step was when they said, okay, Dovey, we're not giving you radiation anymore. We're not giving you pills or chemo or injections or anything. You're done. We're just going to get scans every 3 months. And I think this year it's going to be every 4 months. And next year it's going to be every 6 months, assuming that nothing happens. And the only thing we really have to worry about now is my spine. So that'll be something for the future. Also, at the beginning of last week, I became a Twitch affiliate. They started rolling out the affiliate program to scrubs like myself, so I was able to get in on that. I got a bunch of emotes done. I made a few myself. I had a few commissioned by some really good artists, and I've been having some fun with the Twitch streams. It's been really nice. The Runaway Guys had a New Jersey show at the beginning of April that I was able to go to. So that was really cool because it was the first Throne Controllers I actually had ever been able to go to, because all the MagFest ones are Friday night. And I also missed it this past year. But also because I just got to see people not on MagFest, which is mind-blowing to me. Other people go to like other conventions and stuff, you can see them at PAX or whatever. I can't ever really get that far out. So, okay, Otto, you've betrayed me for the last time. So it was just really nice to be able to just drive myself, a half an hour to see Misei and Luca and everybody. Also saw like a few people that I know already, like Master Time Thief. So all in all, it was really good. I was able to make art for them because a whole bunch of the Runaway people have like it's like half the Runaway people are April birthdays and half of them are November birthdays. So I don't know how that works out, but it does. Uh, it's like Tim, Emil, and Misei are April, and then John and Luca are November. And also Jules and Adri were there, and yeah. So all in all, it was just really cool, and it was just like it was different. I can still feel it. I have the poster hanging right up there from. There we go. The poster hanging right up there from it, but like I don't know, I can still feel the excitement of like just getting out and going there and seeing them not in National Harbor. It was weird. It felt normal. Magfest is fun, but it's also like a very active thing. Like you can't really hang out with important people because they're just constantly being swarmed or going from one place to another or something. But here, like, even though they were doing the show, like, I got a few minutes with them. You were just like able to say, hey, hi, hello, hug. So it was nice. Also this past year, I finished my 8th year of doing Let's Plays, started my 9th year. So yeah, this year's gonna start 10 years. Or it's going to start my 10th year. It's not going to finish my 10th year, but it's going to finish my 9th year, which is crazy. I started in 2011. It was a long time ago. When I was a young warthog. I passed my 6-year point of fighting cancer, which was fun last year. Let's see. Right, so the one thing that did happen to me last year that I didn't have to start chemo for, but the middle of last year I started getting severe pains all over the place, which it was determined to be a side effect of the immunotherapy that I got in 2017. So last year being 2019, there was 2 years for this thing to just not like show itself after the hell that it gave me. For those of you who were in 2017, the immunotherapy literally almost killed me. It was very close. Very close. So once that went away, I said, thank God it's gone. And then it came back 2 years later. So it was just pain everywhere. So I had to start taking a nerve medication called Lyrica, which worked, but the problem was that Lyrica has a very large side effect, along with every other pain medication in existence, of weight gain. Like the main pain medication I take right now is Celebrex, which is for old people. That's just standard pain medication I'm probably going to be on for the rest of my life. But that's also weight gain. But the Lyrica had a side effect of weight gain, and so I gained a lot of weight over the last summertime, spring and summer, and it sucked. It made the pain go away, but I had to just watch myself get heavier and heavier, which the problem there being that with someone with like back and spinal problems, the more weight you have, the more stress it puts on your spine, so the more pain you get. So there's like a risk-reward type of thing that you eventually have to say, all right, I'm done with that. So eventually, it was like a month of pain before I was able to get the Lyrica, because the insurance companies were like, I don't think you really have pain, or you don't need it, Dovey. I hate insurance companies. Yeah, so that was just a thing. So eventually I got off of it in November. November-ish. September, November. Yeah, I waited until after the Jewish holiday, so October. It's balance between September and November, October. Um, and so I've been off of that, and I'm only on my regular pain medication now. But I was able to get off of it. The pain didn't come back, and we'll talk about the weight loss. Um, let's see. Over the course of the summer, I went to New York City 4 or 5 times with different groups of people, which was really great. Um, I went with Julie and Ed, also for a friend's engagement party. I went to a Twitch-sponsored like research study where I got a cool knapsack and some money. I went to the Guggenheim Museum with Juker and Lonely and Master Time Thief and a bunch of people. And there was another trip, I think. I feel like there was one more trip and I'm just forgetting it. But, I don't know. I also met with just my friend in general. We had, like, some of my friends, and we just had dinner in this city. Like, out of nowhere. It was great. But yeah, I went to the New York City a lot, which involved a lot of bus trips and just, I don't know. It was nice doing that a bunch and just getting out, you know? Being like, hey, I remember when I used to do this 10 years ago. Remember that, Dovey? So it was pretty cool. We had WonCon, which took place in New Jersey here. And WonCon was a day, or at least for me. Thank you, phone. At least for me, it was a day at Six Flags with John and Christy and Ben and all the usual suspects. Miffin and Lego and Andrew and Sam. We went to Africa. I got barred from the park because I had a chain on my wallet. Second. This right here, this is a weapon. I had to take this off and stick it in a locker for like $14 or something. That was a fun time though, and we're hopefully doing it again this year, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. Nice to, like I said with the New Jersey show, it's just really nice to see people outside of MagFest. It's really nice to see people in MagFest because the fact that it's a convention gives people an excuse to like fly in from all over the country and outside of the country, but like it's nice to be able to see people outside of that. So that was really nice. Starting at the end of August, I started a diet and exercise regimen because I needed to lose weight. Where did I start? I started at 282.5 pounds, which I'm 6'4", so it doesn't show that much, but I can feel it. I could definitely feel it. So over the course of the past bunch of months, it's been 4 months now, almost 4 months. August to September, October, November, December, almost 5 months. I've lost 26.5 pounds. I'm at 256 now. I hit that 25 point right before MagFest, so which was my goal for the year. So I'm really excited, and I'm hoping that over the course of this year, I'm going to drop down to where I want to be, which is around 220. And I really only need to lose like 3.5 pounds a month to do that now, considering like where I am and the fact that they're 12 months in a year. So I don't think I'm gonna like slow down my diet too much, because 3.5 pounds is a lot less than the like 7 to 10 that I was losing, and I was perfectly fine with that. So I want to try to just like work hard January, like winter, spring, to get into summer. So like summer, I'll like be in a good spot. I'll be able to maintain everything and just like coast through the rest of the year on the routines and everything. But it's been really nice just getting myself into a routine, getting the diet ready, like getting everything. And because it's been so many years since I was able to do that. Like, trying to keep a diet up when you're getting chemo and stuff just doesn't work. Like, half the time you're not well enough to even like exercise. Half the time you're not well enough to choose your food. You just have to eat whatever it is that your body will like allow you or that you crave. So like once I got some control back into my life, I was able to do that, and I'm very excited for the future. And the other thing I did was prepare a Nagito cosplay, Nagito Komeida from Danganronpa 2. I spent the latter half of the year researching and putting it together, and my mom helped me with the wig styling, which she was really happy to do. Yeah, it was a joint effort, and I did the cosplay at MagFest this year. It was my baby's first cosplay, people loved it, and I was really happy. Nobody said that I looked horrible, which was great. I did like the makeup stuff myself, and I went around and I was Nagito Komeida for an afternoon or for a morning. So that was really cool, and I want to try more. Excuse me, I want to try more this year. As for who I would want to do next, I don't know if I necessarily would go straight to Sephiroth, because I want to put that together myself, and getting his like armor and stuff would be a lot of work. Also, that's something I want to do when I'm thinner. I don't want to start working on it now. I'd rather like get that, like start working on that when my body is a bit slimmer. Arguably, Nagito also should have been a project for a thinner person, but I wanted to start on that so I could focus and say, hey, I can't be 280 pounds. I mean, I'm not body shaming people who are of weight and cosplay, because you are awesome and I love you for like getting out there and doing that. But personally, I didn't want to see myself as fat Nagito. Like people like cosplay isn't necessarily about like being thin. It's about like the confidence of the character and working hard on the costume. Which like if you do that, if you have the confidence and you work hard on it, you'll make it work no matter like what you look like. And that's very evident with like people who do cosplays that are like a different weight or different skin color, and they kill it. Like they're great. I've seen some amazing cosplays of people that like they're just like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to adapt this character to myself, and that's awesome. But personally, I can't see myself doing that because I have different standards for my own self-image. So again, not saying that that's something that other people should try to do, but personally, I used it as a way to propel myself towards weight loss. So by losing 25 pounds, I was able to like not look like fat Nagito, and I just looked like large Nagito. But yeah, I like how it looked, which was good. But this year I'm gonna try for other characters. The problem is like a lot of the characters I like, they're all skinny. But like I really want to do a Gundam Tanaka cosplay. I have my sights set on an outfit. I think I can get the hair done up naturally. I don't know if I'd necessarily need a wig, although it probably would get one anyway, just because that's a lot of work on my own hair. But I love Gundam, and I think I could portray him. But I don't know, there's just a lot of like stuff that I'd like to try now that I got my taste of the cosplaying bug, I guess, and it worked. But yeah, so that's aside, and then so that led into the end of the year, and again, like there was a lot of art that happened, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like looking back and like again, like this is a lot. It's so much, and I'm proud of myself, and I appreciate everybody's like help and support through all this, like whether it's people on Patreon or just like liking and retweeting stuff on Twitter or just commenting and saying, hey Dovey, I like this one. Like some people do it on the videos here, some people do it on Twitter or Discord or whatever. Like I really appreciate every time I get one, like someone say, "Hey, you did a really good job on this." I'm like, "Thank you." I actually I said this before, I audibly thank every person that retweets and likes stuff or comments. Even if I like don't at someone on Twitter like, "Hey, thank you for retweeting my art," because that sounds like that's really annoying. If I were to do that, that would be really annoying. But like I do thank every single one of you for doing that, and I appreciate it. But yeah, so that was those events. We'll get to like games and let's plays. World events. So this was a fun year. So Disney bought Fox, which was a very big merger, aside from like Fox News. But they bought like all of the movie properties and TV shows. Excuse me. Which eventually led to Disney Plus, that came out that debuted this year with amazing shows, but like also the selection is fantastic. It has like Marvel, Pixar, Disney, National Geographic, and Star Wars on it, which amazing. We had our first image of a black hole, which, I mean, personally, I think that's just so cool. I love science and I love space, and when the two come together, it's good stuff. Notre Dame practically burned down, the cathedral in France, and that wasn't something. They're trying to put it back together, but also like a lot of the stuff in there was made out of lead, so it's slightly poisoned at this point. The Japanese emperor abdicated his throne, which was the first time that happened in like ever. His son took over, but yeah, that was an interesting event. Hong Kong had, I believe, continues to have protests over independence and rights and a whole bunch of really important things that a lot of the world really likes ignoring. The impeachment stuff has been going on. The President of the United States got impeached by the House of Representatives, so that was something. We'll see where that goes this year, because it's election year. Oh boy. In terms of people passing away, Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca, the original Chewbacca, Doris Day, actress Tim Conway, who is a hilarious person. Grumpy Cat passed away. Herman Wouk, who wrote the Mutiny on the Bounty, and a book that I really love personally called "This Is My God," which is like he was Jewish and he was Orthodox. He was religious, and the book was essentially his as a like through the mouth of a literary author, as opposed to just like a philosopher or a writer. His view of like Judaism, and I read that book every year. I love it. He passed away at like 105, I think, 103, 105. Ross Perot, who like always seemed to run as an independent in like every election in the last 20 years. John Paul Stevens, who is Supreme Court Justice. Jeffrey Epstein, who one day we might even find the truth of what actually happened to him. Peter Fonda, Eddie Money, Ginger Baker, a bunch of musicians. Ginger Baker is from Cream. Eddie Money was Eddie Money. Renee. Okay, I'm going to get this right. Bourgeois, who played Odo, right, on Deep Space Nine, Star Trek, in addition to a bunch of other stuff. Carol Spinney, who is Big Bird. So yeah, a lot of big names, at least for me, big names passed away this year. But I guess it'll be interesting to see what this year brings. But there's a concept in Judaism that whenever like a big person passes away, another is born. Like the sun never sets, you know. What's that? I forgot the exact term, but like greatness doesn't just go out of the world. It's replaced. So it'll be interesting to see, in 20, 30 years, the great people that were born in this era, I guess. So video games that came out this year that I bought. In January, we got the Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, which I also streamed. February, we got Wargroove, we got Kingdom Hearts 3. I think Piranha Plant came out this year, as opposed to last year, I don't remember. March, we had Yoshi's Crafted World, Joker for Smash Bros. June was Cadence of Hyrule, Mario Maker 2, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. In July, we had Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Baba Is You either came out this year or I bought it this year. I'm not really sure of my notes. Risk of Rain 2 kind of came out. Pokemon Masters on the phone. Astral Chain on the Switch, which I really want to finish. Ni no Kuni was released on the Switch and also of a remastered port on the PlayStation 4. Link's Awakening came out for the Switch. Untitled Goose Game came out for the Switch. Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Watam, Indivisible came out at some point, and Cthulhu Saves Christmas, which was a last-minute entry there. So yeah, that's a lot of video games. As you can see, most of the stuff I hear I got for the Switch. There's a few PS4 games, a couple PC games, but there was a lot of other games that came out this year. A lot of big games that came out this year. But yeah, if there's any that is not on the list that you got that were particularly interesting to you, let me know. In terms of Let's Plays that I've done over the course since January, I finished up Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga for the 3DS. I started and finished streaming Vesperia. I finished up Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS. Did on the Rain Slick Precipice of Darkness episodes 3 and 4 for Much Games Guides. Hopefully I will be starting up a new Let's Play of Much Games Guides within the next week or two. I finally finished Pokemon Vietnamese Crystal streaming. We did Earthbound Randomizer, and I finished that up too. I streamed Ocarina of Time Randomizer Seed, which was amazingly fun. I Let's Played Final Fantasy X, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Twilight Princess HD, and I started Mother 3 as part of my Year 8 promises, I guess. So, yeah, Mother 3 is the only one left from those. We streamed Hat in Time Yakuza. We streamed Kingdom Hearts 2, the Final Fantasy V 4-Job Fiesta, as always, and starting up the Undertale streams, which will hopefully continue sometime in the near future. But, yeah, I don't know, compared to last year, how many projects I actually started and finished. Let's see, the previous year was Dark Dawn, Castlevania 4, Thousand Year Door, Wind Waker, Sonic Adventure, Wario Land Shake It, Kingdom Hearts, Hat in Time. Yeah, so I definitely did more this year, so that's cool. A lot of my Let's Plays have been from streams, which I'm really happy that I can spend extra time getting those projects out from streams and stuff. So yeah, that's that. As for upcoming games, and I marked off on here games that are returning from last year's upcoming games, meaning they were either delayed or have just been sometime in the future. But yeah, upcoming games: Persona 5 Royal, which actually has a release date. So that's a returning game. Final Fantasy 7R is not a returning game because last year that like no one talked about it. Like not last year 2019, like 2018. It was just gone. So like 2019 all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, it's coming out in March." So that was cool. So yeah, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Persona 5 Royal, Animal Crossing New Horizons, which was supposed to come out last year and got delayed to this year. So I'm excited for that. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which was supposed to come out this month and got delayed into June or something, or early spring or whatever. Axiom Verge 2, which was announced this past year, which I'm excited for. Breath of the Wild 2, which I don't think is going to come out this year, but it'll be really cool if it does come out at the end of this year. Eastward, which I don't remember if it got a release date or not, but there was like an open demo for it, so it's coming out hopefully soon. Xenoblade Chronicles HD, like the definitive edition for that, or whatever, however they're calling it. So that should come out this year, possibly in May, according to some leaked release retailer things. And Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Rescue Team DX. So, yeah, that was announced last week, and that's coming out also in March, along with expansions, two DLC expansions to Pokemon Sword and Shield, which are coming out in intervals, this year. So, yeah, those are going to be, I'm excited for that. Most of the games that are coming out are in March, though, so that's just going to be scary. But yeah, good times abound. As for the final thing for the video, I guess it's my top 10 games of the year. Now, these games are all video games that I personally played. They're not all games that came out this year. Only one of them is a game that didn't come out this year. The other ones are games that came out this year. But yeah, they're all games that I played this year. So, I'm not putting Kingdom Hearts 2 on it because, I don't really, it's like that is already an old game. But, yeah. So, starting from 10 going to 1, and again, this list, first of all, it's my list. There's going to be games here that you're like, Dovey, how dare you put that game on this list? And other games like, Dovey, how could you not put that game on this list? It either means I didn't play it, or it didn't make it into the 10, because a lot of these games are like really close, and I don't like ranking things. So normally I would just say in no particular order, but technically this is the order. And a lot of it has to do with how excited I was for the game, or like what the game made me feel when I was playing it. But yeah, number 10, Ni no Kuni for the Switch. I would put that higher because Ni no Kuni is amazing, but since it's really only a port, I'm sticking at number 10. So like I played it and it's good, and I love it. It's like one of my favorite games ever, but I can't put it higher because it's like there's nothing new to it. It's just a port. At number 9, and I wanted to put this higher, but again, other games this year were really good. Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer, Cadence of Hyrule, which is a rhythm game on the Switch that came out much earlier this year, June-ish. And yeah, that game is just like, it's so fun. Like, I love music. I love Zelda music, and like with Family Jewels, this is like soundtrack efforts and just the way that the game plays out and how different it is and how original it is. It feels like a Zelda game. It feels like a rhythm game, and it worked out so perfectly. But I can't put it higher on the list because like I played it once and then that was it, and like it doesn't make it bad, but like I need to get back to it. But I haven't. I don't know. It was a great experience though. Number 8 is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is like the best Star Wars game I've played in years. Maybe even as good as Lego Star Wars, just maybe. But no, I love Lego Star Wars, by the way. But I played I wanted to complete this game, like get the platinum trophy and everything, but there are like a few things that are just like really annoying to do in it. I really just don't want to try. But I did all the exploration possible. I fought all the enemies. I even didn't play on the easiest difficulty. But I really loved this game. I loved the lore in it. I loved the characters. I just loved how it played out. So yeah, it's definitely just one of the best games I've played in the year, and I'm so happy that like it exists. I'm really looking forward to them hopefully making more. Number 7 is Luigi's Mansion 3, which I really wanted to put this higher on the list too, but for the same reasons for the like other ones, there were other games, but like Luigi's Mansion 3 came out in October and I played it and beat it like immediately because and a lot of games like I play through and I have a great time and then I just kind of lose interest. But like this year was actually a year where I finished video games, and most of the games that I finished were the ones that came out in like the last third of the year. Star Wars I finished, Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon, the other games that are higher on this list. But yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3, it just felt like they came back to what the essence of Luigi's Mansion was, because I mean, it's kind of hard to say that when there's literally only 3 games in the series, but I love Luigi's Mansion 1. I did Let's Play of it that ended in the beginning of this year, but I love Luigi's Mansion 1 so much. And Luigi's Mansion 2 just did not hold my interest at all. Like I didn't even beat it because it just became a slog. But Luigi's Mansion 3, it brought back like more exciting exploration. It brought back more exciting locations. It brought back more exciting boss fights. It brought back like more varied looking bosses. It brought back better music. So like it really just it did everything right. And I'm so happy with it. And I did it. I played it to completion, and I'm like, I don't know. I look forward to hopefully like in the future maybe getting another Luigi's Mansion game now. Number 5, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. Again, this would be higher on the list if there weren't other video games, but I played this, I streamed this. One of the reasons I think this isn't higher on the list was because I streamed it. I had a great time streaming it, but also there were some like negatives which I've discussed, and I'm not going to go into them because honestly, like that's not really, this isn't the time for that. But like the game itself is fantastic. I felt that the battle system was better than Symphonia, even though it's really not that different. They just tweaked a few things, but I think it's better. Do I like the characters better than Symphonia? It's hard to say, and I'm holding Symphonia up as the paragon of Tales games because I've played Symphonia and Abyss, but I played Symphonia more, so I can judge things based on that. But it's also very similar to Abyss. Yeah, Vesperia just had a really good story. The cutscenes were good. The voice acting was fantastic. The graphics, the music, like everything was all so good. And I'm looking forward to playing through again with actually doing the side quests this time instead of just going right straight to the boss, to the final boss. Because I really didn't want to spend like another half a year of streams just doing side quests. I wanted to get that game done. And I got it done. And yeah, that's why it's number 5 though. Number 4, and I want to make this higher, but I never actually beat the game yet. Fire Emblem 3 Houses for the Switch. This is probably the best Fire Emblem game I've played. I played Fire Emblem. I played Sacred Stones. I played a little bit of Path of Radiance, I think. I played Awakening, Fates, I did not play the Shadows of Almia, but it's what was Fates? There's one in between, wasn't there? Between Awakening and Fates. There probably was, and the fact that I don't remember it is not a good thing. Reina was in Birthright, which was Fates. I don't remember. Good job, Dovey. I don't know. Maybe there wasn't because it was those three. I don't know. Anyway, Fire Emblem Three Houses is one of the best Fire Emblem games ever made. You still have all of the Fire Emblem, like the tactic gameplay. You still have the hanging out with people sections, which they made a lot better. Like they made that into more like Persona, like dating sim style, like just going around in between battles, which you could just avoid and ignore. But it gave, like with the monastery, it just gave life to everything because like everyone was all over the place. You had like activities you could do that raise people's stats, and it just felt a lot more involved than like Awakening and Fates were. They didn't have babies, so people were less creeped out, I guess. You could still romance somebody, which is important. It's very important to be able to romance people. The characters were all fun and different and weird, and you got Bernadetta, so like you can't really like go up from there. Bernie is just great. And yeah, just the gameplay, the music, the pacing was really good. It's just the story was like compelling. It's just really, really nice. I never finished it though. I played it a lot. I started Black Eagles, and I accidentally got into the secret route, and that's where I stopped because I was like, do I want to play this or do I want to start over and actually go the normal route? I'm probably just going to finish up the secret route, then I think I'm going to do Golden Deer next. But yeah, it's just been really fun with just playing that game, but also like the internet embraced it. There's been so many memes with the characters. The voice actors like really got into like just playing the games, and it's like it's a whole community thing. And that's why it's number 4. It would probably be higher. It'd probably be number 2 if I finished it though. Number 3, Untitled Goose Game, the surprise hit, which was not a surprise. I knew this game would be amazing. From the moment I saw it, I needed this video game. Untitled Goose Game is one of the best video games ever created, and you just can't say otherwise. You play as a goose, and you annoy people, and you honk. There's a dedicated honk button, and yeah, you just cause mayhem. There's nobody gets like really hurt. You don't kill anybody. At best you cause like mild property damage, and I guess you break a prize vase and someone cuts a prize rose, but like you don't do that. Technically other people do it. But yeah, it's just short and fun and weird and different graphic. It was just different and welcome, and like especially like in the year it came out, which this year was just really sad and down and depressing. You just go around honking at people and playing as a goose. It was a perfect game for a perfect time. Yeah, that's why it's number 3. Number 2 is Pokemon Sword. This game had a lot of controversy. I'm not here to talk about the controversy. I'm here to talk about the video game. I enjoyed the heck out of this video game. Again, I played this game through to completion, which usually takes me a very long time to do with Pokemon games these days. Just in general, I usually play it a bunch and then I stop and then I like pick it up and push through. But here I just solid finish the game. And like they did so much right with it. I thought the Gigantamaxing was kind of weird at the beginning, or the Dynamaxing, but it really grew on me. It became very fun as like the centerpieces of the gym battles. Some of the final fights were like really weird and interesting. The characters were mostly fun. There was a post game that was kind of short and it's kind of but the raid battles were like, it's just interesting. I love the music so much, especially in the gym battles. The music is so good. Da 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 da. It's just great. Ba 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 da ba da ba da da. It's beautiful. And I like the Pokemon that they made for Gen 8 a lot. Personally, I love the setting. I just like the fact that they're making DLC expansions as opposed to a third version is great. And I know some people didn't like the game, some people refused to play the game, and honestly, that's your prerogative, and that's fine. But personally, I was very happy with this Pokemon game, and it was nice because I enjoyed Sun and Moon, I enjoyed Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I enjoyed the Oras, but like, I didn't get that sense of wonder of a new Pokemon game that I did with this, and that's partially because I avoided like all the leaks and spoilers possible beforehand. So like when I came on a new Pokemon, it was actually new to me because they didn't show off all the Pokemon beforehand. So like I was like, wow, look at this guy, or like this is so cool. I wonder what type it is. Let's try this out. And I actually had to figure out how to play the game. Like, let's see. So this is like it looks like a bird. So maybe it's like part flying or something, or like, you know, it's this, is this a bug? Is this fighting type again? It's like I actually had to like think as opposed to being like, oh, this is this Pokemon, so I'll just do this, or this is this Pokemon, I'll do that, or like, you know, seeing the Gigantamaxes that they didn't show off beforehand from the gym leaders. I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. So like, I made this game special for myself, so that's why it's number 2. Number 1 is Link's Awakening for the Switch. Link's Awakening is one of my favorite video games of all time, and my god, if I had a nickel for every time I said that, especially in this video, we'd have like 50 cents already. Link's Awakening is one of the best video games ever created. It is my favorite 2D Zelda game. It is my third favorite Zelda game. It's really hard to rank Zelda games because you got Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Link's Awakening, not in that order, just like those 4. If I'm going to put a 5th on there, it would either be Ocarina of Time or the Oracle games. But like, the Zelda games are just all good. But Link's Awakening was one of the first video games I've ever played. It came out when I was very young. I played the original, I played the DX version when it came out, and you know, on the Game Boy Color, and it stuck with me. I played that game again and again and again to the point where I memorized everything. I knew the music, I knew the text, I knew the layout of Koholint Island. Like, that game was a part of me, is a part of me. And when I saw this year that they were remaking it in like that cartoony style, with like light and airy music, which eventually grew on me. Actually, I didn't like it at first, but the diorama style, and like all the little details that they added to the game, the little tweaks, the quality of life improvements. Like, Link's Awakening for the Switch, in my opinion, is a perfect remake of a video game. It is like a standard that they have to hold all video game remakes up to, where they said, yeah, this game, you know, some remakes, they just take it and they're like, hey, let's just change the art style and, you know, rip the soul out of the game. Now, like, here they're like, okay, what made this game fun? Well, it made this game fun because it had that dreamy quality to it. It had that, like, Link is just like a little nothing in this weird island full of weird things. It's like all strange, the characters and the talking animals and stuff, and the music is a central focus of the game, with like the instruments like that you have to collect, and the Marin's song, and It's like, let's take all these things and like let's focus on what the soul of this game is, and let's bring that and expand upon it, and they did. And it was a game that they so could have easily destroyed, but they didn't, and it's beautiful. And I'm like so happy that they were able to take the vision of this game and put it on the Switch without compromising on it, because again, like, this game is a part of me. It was a part of my childhood, and it's always been a part of me. Like, I did a Let's Play of it. I try to play this game like once a year. It's something I can complete in like a few hours, and it's always just been a beautiful thing to me. I just have the music going in my head right now. Bum bum bum, ba-da-dum bum 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 bum, ba-da-dum dum dun 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 bum bum, ba-ba-da-bum bum bum, ba-da-bum bum ba-lum 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 ba-ba-ba-ba-ba bum baby. Do 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 do, ba-da da da la 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 la. Bum 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 bum. This game means a lot to me, so it's my number one, and I was so happy to play it, and I was so happy to beat it, and I was so happy to experience the fact that they were able to do this to one of my favorite video games of all time. And I really hope that next year I can come to you with my top 10 games, with my number one being Final Fantasy VII Remake, and say the exact same thing, that they took the soul of this game and they just ran with it. But yeah, that's going to do it for the year in review. What are your top 10 games? What are some games that I didn't mention that you enjoyed this year? Whether it's something that came out this year or something that you found this year and you bought. Any interesting things happen in your life? Let me know. Just what's going on. And here's to the new year. As they say in Imagine Dragons song, here's to my future, here's to my yesterday. No tomorrow without a yesterday. Here's to my future, goodbye to yesterday. This year is going to be good for us. It's going to be good for you. Like I've said in the past, we can make it our year. You can make it your year. And it's never too late to start that, and I believe in you. I really do. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for being around, just in general. And here's to 2020. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye. Gotta click this manually.